creepy and cool TikToks that will blow your mind. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go!
Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, as these clips haven't been fact-checked.
We called it. Remember that Chase money glitch that was actually just straight up check fraud? Well, turns out, the internet really did troll people into just going to jail because Chase hasn't just, charged people back the money that they withdrew. They've now reported what they called thousands of incidents to law enforcement. So the punishment for this type of fraud can vary depending on the severity of how much people withdrew and depending on which state. But in California, it's up to a year in prison and fines, of course, and in New York it's 3 months in jail and fines. So don't play money games with the bank because it's their job. They always win.
So basically, if I withdraw about 200K, I go to jail for a year and don't pay the fines, and I just made 200 grand in a year. Wow, look at that. Honestly, every time there's a typhoon alert, it seems like this is the very first time this has happened. Just like tornadoes and hurricanes in USA, why not build better infrastructure?
Must be the most wild school in South Africa. Centennial School is based in Sandton, Gauteng, and it's the fanciest I've ever seen. They have their own esports arena where learners can go and game, and it is huge. In fact, it's the biggest esports arena in Africa. Students are not required to wear uniform, and their classrooms are very different to the norm. In fact, they don't even call them classrooms, they call them learning hubs. As expected, they are very technology based in their teaching and learning, making use of laptops and tablets. In terms of sport, they have their own private fitness center as well as their very own yoga and Pilates center with state-of-the-art equipment which every learner is allowed to use. They also have their own AstroTurf and chill zone, which is pretty cool. And of course, they have their own cafe which looks like a coffee shop. Now I know what you're wondering, how much does it cost to go here? Fees go up to around 124,000 Rand per student per year. Do you think it's worth it?
Honestly, I expected the fees to be more.
A man fired multiple shots at a cactus in the Arizona desert in 1982. Now, he did this just for fun, but the cactus actually began to crack. And this cactus was a saguaro, standing at over 20 feet tall and weighing thousands of pounds. Suddenly, a massive piece of the cactus broke off and came crashing down on the man. He was instantly crushed under its weight and killed on impact.
Cactus did not let that slide.
Chanak, a creature from Philippine folklore, appears as a crying infant to lure victims. When approached, it transforms into a vicious monster with sharp teeth and claws, attacking those who come near. It's believed to be the restless spirit of an unbaptized child or a demon offspring, often hiding in forests and remote areas. To stop the Chanak, one can throw salt or ash at it to repel its evil nature or recite prayers to weaken it. Some legends also suggest giving it a proper burial and baptism to release its spirit and end its malevolent behavior.
In Indonesia, we have tuyul, the baby-looking creature that steals money.
Hyenas have such a strong jaw. They can chew right through the bones of elephants. For comparison, a lion's jaw strength is 650 psi, while the hyena generates a staggering 1100 psi.
People's last names used to be what they did, that was their trade.
Correct.
So like blacksmith, and their name became Black and Smith. I was telling someone that the other day. I said, yeah, dude, your last name means kind of what your family, your ancestors used to do. His name was Joe Dickinson.
Me thinking it was leading to something serious.
Meat from a bear can sometimes contain an infectious parasite. Once ingested, the larvae are released in your stomach and migrate to your small intestine. There, they mature and reproduce, and the newborn larvae eventually enter your bloodstream. These larvae burrow into your muscle, which causes intense pain as they form a hardened protective cyst around themselves. And they can remain dormant inside these cysts for years.
Who's eating bear meat? And does properly cooking the meat eliminate any larvae or eggs?
I don't want you to move your lips. I don't want you to say a word, but in your head, I want you to say the word happiness. Okay? Don't say it out loud. Just say it in your head. We're all going to say it together in our mind. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Did you say it? I'll give you one more chance. Ready? Say happiness without saying it outside of your mouth. In your head, I want you to say happiness. 1, 2, 3. Did you do it? Okay. Now my question is, who said that? Who said that? Because you said something without moving your lips. And then the crazier part about it is not only did you say it without moving your lips, you also heard it. You heard it without sound. So who said it and who heard it? You said something without saying it, and you heard something without hearing it. You are the consciousness behind all of it. That's who you are.
Never
I hear nothing. It's a thought, not a voice.
keep photos of deceased people because once a person passes away, they no longer belong to this world. Keeping photos of those who have left can be dangerous. For this reason, such photos should not be placed in picture frames. When we hang a portrait of a deceased person on the wall, we might open a portal for spirits. If this portal remains constantly open, meaning the portrait is always visible, the living residents of the house may feel the energy of the deceased. These images open a window to the other world and can negatively affect the lives of the living. Firstly, these photos weaken the energy of a living person, because every time you look at them, you feel sad and affected. And the consequences of this can be even more intense. The weakening of energy can lead to deteriorating health and emotional instability. Some family members who hang photos of loved ones on the walls often experience frequent headaches, back pain, or dizziness. On the other hand, if you can't part with the photographs, you should keep them well stored and view them occasionally. However, frequently looking at such images is still not recommended. Another important point is that photos of the deceased should be kept separate from photos of living people. If a photo includes both a deceased person and living individuals, specialists recommend cutting the photo to separate the images. Share this video, follow me, and give a like for more terrifying stories.
I will never take my father's picture down.
Morning. Look like you're shivering. You want to come sit in his car and warm up for a minute?
As long as I'm not being taken anywhere.
No, you're not being taken anywhere. Just come sit in the car and warm up. Just have a seat.
What police didn't realize was that this boy had been missing for years, and when they speak to his father, he understands they had finally found his missing son.
Is it him?
A little bit older, but yeah.
My sweetheart's wife. Oh my God. Dad, can you go get him, please?
I definitely will do my best to bring him home.
God bless you. I'd be so scared the glass would break in front of my face as I'm holding the door.
There it goes.
There it goes.
Oh, watch it. Watch the building. There it goes. That was more thoughtless.
I saw something like this 23 years ago. If you know, you know.
The crowd sits frozen in silence. The president is in total control. Then, Saddam calls a man to the stage, and a tall, slender, middle-aged man starts walking down the aisle. He walks up onto the stage and stands behind a microphone. And then, slowly, he begins confessing. Confessing to crimes of wanting to overthrow Saddam Hussein. I was the one behind the plot against the new president, the man says. It was me who tried getting others to join in. But it's a lie. Nothing of what he admits on stage is true. What's really happened is that he's been thoroughly tortured and told that if he doesn't go up on that stage and say that he planned the plot against Saddam, the torturers will rape his wife and daughter right in front of him. He has no choice but to obey. And so he does. Once he's finished, Saddam takes the floor.
Ooh. Who put Saddam Hussein in power and backed him for many years until he was no longer needed? If you know the answer, drop a comment.
This is 2 years old. There's no mold on this whatsoever.
2 years ago.
2 years ago, we purchased this bread. On the weekend, we got engaged and we kept it for a year. We did a year update and we kept it for another year. So it is 2 years old.
Just sitting on a shelf in the garage, not in a fridge.
Not in the freezer, not in a fridge, in a hot garage. We have moved and brought this with us. 2-year-old
Show
bread.
me how soft it is. It's still soft.
Is it soft? Look at that.
That's crazy.
All right, let's put it back in there.
Should we do a 3-year update?
We'll check back in next September.
It's easy to make bread nowadays if you like it so much. Buy the bread maker and it's going to save you so much money.
This happened in 2011 in Pakistan. This dude, his name was Mohammed Rayaz. I may be pronouncing that wrong, but one day, all of these people out there, they seen this dude running full speed, coming through the city. He was running full speed. It was like low-key later in the day, and he was hella terrified. So they were like, what the hell happened?
He was being chased by something.
Exactly. Pretty much all the people that were there in the street, they just start whooping his ass.
What the fuck? Wait, why?
Okay. They whoop his ass and they turn him into the police. The police are like, dude, what the fuck happened? Like, tell us your side of the story. This dude, Muhammad, and one of his friends, these crazy dudes pretty much would go into the graves of women. Both of them would go in there and have sex with the girls.
Oh my god.
No. It was over like 48 girls that
Oh,
they did it in this graveyard.
Wow.
Yeah. He continues to keep doing it, but now by himself. This guy does the same thing. Halloween night, goes inside this casket while he's having sex with his body. This guy looks up and he claims the girl was staring back at him and smiling.
Ooh.
What the fuck? He said he saw her look, she was looking at him when he looked up. So he ends up jumping out of the grave hella frantic.
And he ends up running to the town.
To the town, and he explains it to them. And they're like, why the fuck were you in graves, period?
Creepy.
Entertainment industry, it's about influence. There is a reason why you see people dressed up as Satan. Full-on visuals of Satan, people dressed as Satan, dressed as a demon, got upside-down crosses all on their clothes or pentagrams on their clothes. People think that this stuff is just a game. No, there's a reason why the entertainment industry is doing that, y'all. They know good and doggone well that God exists. They also know that Satan exists. They're just counting on the fact that y'all don't know that. But either way, the things that you take in, that they're feeding you, those things affect you, whether you realize it in the moment or not.
But she did the new Descent movie after sharing this video.
Do you trust this? Oh my god. Oh, here he is. Well, that's a cop. What's your thing on top?
I don't know.
A jaguar.
Hello, Amanda.
Oh my goodness. You got a jaguar. Where
Jaguar.
What?
Buckle up.
Where?
To Xanadu Coffee Company.
Oh no, Amanda. Do you trust this? Amanda. I mean, oh my god. I cannot believe this.
Are you buckled?
Yes, I want to be buckled. Oh, and
Hold up.
where?
There's nobody there, Pops.
Well, how did it get down here?
I called it.
You called it.
I did.
Call who?
The car.
There's no driver.
I know.
Oh. Amanda, is there... In other
Jerry
words,
says he's scared.
I am too. In other words, you're selling these? Well, where's Jenny? We got big... Amanda, look at you. It's... Amanda, but won't this car get... what are the cops will see this.
Here we go. Intersection.
I don't... I'll never forget this. Never.
We're turning.
Amanda.
Coming up on a car.
The car did a better job than if somebody was driving.
You just said the same thing. You two said the same thing.
But I don't try.
Uh-oh.
Amanda.
Why are we slowing down?
Oh no. Now what?
I don't know why it's slowing down.
See, Amanda? I told you.
Amanda.
He's just being careful here.
Technology.
Out of gas.
Walk, probably.
I'm not sure.
That's me when I'm 80 and they invent teleporting.
Trust fund. Why do 80% of military strategists study the same battles? Because history holds the secrets to victory. Wars shape nations, economies, and lives. They spark technological advances and political shifts. Take World War II. It ended the Great Depression in the US and led to the creation of the United Nations. Not to mention radar and jet engines, but wars come at a high cost. Millions of lives lost, cities destroyed, and generations affected. Vietnam, for example, left deep scars on both American and Vietnamese societies. The psychological impact is still felt today, yet conflicts can sometimes bring unity and resilience. Look at how Britain stood strong during the Blitz, or how Germany rebuilt itself post-World War II. Understanding war isn't just about dates and battles. It's about recognizing the profound impact on human history. So, next time you hear about a conflict, think beyond the headlines. Think about the lives changed forever. War in 60 seconds. The world will never be the same.
What would happen if you ate 4 eggs every day for just 2 weeks? Most people are scared of eggs because of the cholesterol, but as you eat more eggs and get more cholesterol, your body will make less cholesterol. Eggs have one of the best bioavailable sources of protein. It's going to be great for muscle building. Eggs are also good for weight loss, but that also depends on what else you're eating. Eggs also have all the fat-soluble vitamins, so you're going to find that your eyes are going to be better, your skin, your inflammation is going to be better because of these fat-soluble vitamins. Your liver will also produce less fat because of the choline in eggs. And what's very unique about eggs versus like muscle meat that you would normally eat is with egg, you're not getting muscle protein. You're getting a type of protein that's in the yolk that's not an unborn chicken or an embryo, just a support pack of proteins and vitamins and minerals.
I hear so many mixed things on eggs.
And if I can actually give one example, everyone can look this up if you're listening right now. In 2021, the U.S. Special Forces Perspective, under Mark Milley, our chairman of the Joint Chiefs, put out an entire instruction manual for how the U.S. military can work with the State Department and our intelligence services to organize a rent-a-riot, to destabilize a country in order to bring them to the negotiating table. They gave an example of a hypothetical West African country where a member of U.S. Special Forces is on a separate mission, driving down a highway, and notices a billboard for Chinese infrastructure investment into a new port in this Western African country. The unit takes note of this billboard on a highway in Western Africa with Chinese symbols on it. They do their own investigation and figure out that this is part of a real estate development project from Chinese investors, that as part of that development project will have the construction of a Chinese naval port in this West African country, where in theory China would then be able to project naval influence in the Atlantic Ocean. What the Special Forces Guide calls for is coordination with the State Department, coordination with our intelligence services, coordination with our psychological operations unit to take all of our assets in that West African region. And in that case, what they did is they planned to work with the unions. What they did is they embarked in a social media influence campaign. They would activate all their media assets, all of their civil society institutional assets, and all their union assets to have the union labor pool in that West African country. Well, actually, there was one thing that happened first, is they first then went, in this hypothetical, the State Department sent a delegation to persuade the West African country to forbid the development license to the Chinese developer. And the head of that West African government said no. Because something was happening in the hypothetical in the next 30 days, there was a time sensitivity to generate an instability event to stop this using time-sensitive emergency. And so the way they generated that was they worked with their union contacts in the region and the media contacts in the region and created this whole social media campaign to inflame the sentiments of the West African labor union workforce who were working for Chinese companies at the time. Because in this hypothetical, the Chinese mining firms and Chinese industry, was employing a lot of these Africans. And it was to destabilize the country, to bring the mines, to bring the factories, to bring all of the Chinese production in the region to a halt, and to put all these Africans out of jobs, and to bring the African government effectively to a standstill. At the same time, in their own Special Forces manual, it called for support from U.S. aid to provide these same striking miners alternative jobs, so that while they were striking from the Chinese labor companies, they were still getting paid by U.S. taxpayers. So they were financially bribed effectively to boycott Chinese industry and to devastate their own country's government, create this crisis, and then use the State Department delegation to go back to the negotiating table with the West African government and promise to end the destabilization if the development was halted. And in that hypothetical, the West African government then rejects the license for the real estate development of China, and that is declared as an unalloyed success by the U.S. Special Forces and their partner network in the State Department and Intelligence. And this is the way of our diplomacy in 2021.
The country is Sierra Leone.
This is the UK, ladies and gentlemen. Picture this. Sunday morning in a church, shortly before a Sunday service. Kids are there. And a woman turns up and this happens.
Jesus was a Middle Eastern Jewish man who lived...
Show me the proof. Where's your proof?
The proof is in the Bible. It's in history. Josephus.
I'm here for you to teach me about the religion.
I'm telling you.
I'm passionate. I want to know God. The real God.
Yeah.
The one and only true God.
And yet you
Wait,
stood there.
Wait.
And you disrespected
Okay.
the space.
No.
You disrespected the space.
It's God's house.
It's just going to be another mental health episode, isn't it? Now, whatever you want to think of this woman, it's not that much of a stretch, in my opinion, between this and pulling out a knife and stabbing people. And she went on to shout some anti-Semitic things, calling for death that I probably can't show on TikTok. I wonder why Poland are upholding Christian values.
The disrespect is crazy. What are you gonna do, mate? You know what happened with Jesus when he saw people buying and selling in front of God's house? He got mad. He flipping all the tables.
Guess the fastest growing shoe brand in the world. It's not Nike, Adidas, Reebok or Asics. This brand has 40% market share in Switzerland and is Roger Federer top pick. They made over 2 million in revenue last year with a 14 million market cap. That's a 7-time revenue multiple, way higher than Nike's 2.7. I'm talking about On Shoes. While people might go and search for QC, that's actually misread on their logo, their name is On Shoes. Founded by a gold medalist triathlete who pitched his idea of cloud-like soles to Nike and got rejected. So he built his own brand.
Ooh.
Roger Federer discovered the shoes and invested in the company. It's a reminiscent of Nike's original story actually. Phil Knight pitched his design to Asics, got rejected and started Nike. History has a way of repeating itself. Share this with someone who needs to know.
This is the first time I heard about this brand. And I love the accent, by the way.
You guys remember the Seattle cop that was seen laughing after his colleague fatally struck a grad student while he was speeding in his patrol car? If not, let me refresh your memory.
I think she went up on the hood, hit the windshield, then when he hit the brakes, flew off the car.
Ooh.
But she is dead.
The officer
Why?
who made those comments was Daniel Otter, and he was responding to the scene where Janavi Candela was hit and pronounced the civs just moments ago. And he was seen laughing about it and saying she had limited value. And he wasn't speaking to just anyone. He was speaking to the union president, Mike Sullen. And let me remind you, the officer that hit her, Kevin Dave, was going 74 in a 25, almost 50 miles per hour over. And all criminal charges against him were dropped because they said they couldn't prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he was consciously disregarding safety. And instead, He was hit with a minor traffic infraction and only cited $5,000, and he has yet to pay that fine and is now contesting the citation. Now, the update is that Daniel Otter has officially been fired after the police chief said that his actions brought shame on the police department and have damaged the public trust that they've been working on since day one. Now, this doesn't in the slightest bring the justice that Janavi deserves after her life was taken from her and then made a mockery right after. But it's a step in the right direction, and as always, I'll keep you guys updated.
No punishment will fit the crime.
Can become superhuman by learning to do breath work. I spend 8 minutes every day doing a very specific series of breath work. People do not realize the power of something that is so accessible, so free, and so easy to do. So every morning, spend 8 minutes doing 3 rounds of 30 deep breaths. Take a deep breath in, you hold again, and then you let it out slow. And you start again. I would suggest that you start with 3 rounds of 5 breaths, then work to 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30.
All right.
This food truck is a true engineering marvel. In just 6 minutes, its container transforms into a spacious restaurant that can host about 200 guests for a banquet. Inside, it features air conditioning and stage for wedding parties. The most incredible part is stunning holographic projections that create magical atmosphere. What do you think about this idea? I've got more unique business ideas. Subscribe!
This looks incredible.
Everything we say is descriptive and prophetic. If you do not want it to be prophetic, do not say it, period. I'm gonna give an example. My life is just really hard right now. Great. Your life's gonna be hard tomorrow too. And the next year, how do you know that? Because you just prophesied over yourself. That is descriptive and prophetic. People are like, well, what, am I just not allowed to say anything? No, only say things that you're cool being prophetic. So how do we say that a different way? I've had some challenges recently, but things are moving forward. And I'm struggling a little bit in the middle. Okay, well, that's okay. I'm comfortable with that because the prophetic piece of it, the piece that has power, is not going to create a negative situation in your life.
Life and death is spoken through the word. It's biblical.
Natalie walks us to the employee parking lot where she claims to have witnessed the 5 demons.
So right here, as a matter of fact, right over here.
Right here? Mm-hmm. This is where you see them?
Yeah.
Aaron, Brent, let me see the thermal. So we have a thermal still camera. You can see that there's a mountain range there. We can't see nothing with our own eyes. I'm just looking for any figures, any unusual thermal anomalies. There's a distant light way out there. I don't know what that is. As you can see, this mysterious anomaly is captured by the thermal camera. But what I capture next is shocking. 5 anomalies all documented by the thermal camera, 4 of which are completely invisible to my eye. Could these 5 unexplainable anomalies be the 5 demons Valerie just spoke of?
But maybe they come out certain time.
I'm still checking.
Lovely. Teddy.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
No, I don't think
You want to sit down? I can confirm that you have won 1 million.
Come on! Yeah! Come on!
Don't.
I want to know the feeling, you know. Hey, amazing! So happy for him. But £1 million nowadays isn't a massive amount. Being, you know, he's so young, considering the cost of buying a house and a car. But it's still a nice amount of money.
Go out at night in Egypt. I was out at night in a very local area of Cairo. Assalamu alaikum. Mango beverage. How much? 1? 5? And what I found shocked me. Egypt at night is chaos. Ooh, it's crazy here. Trying to get through. I'm gonna be here for a while. A common misconception is that just because they don't drink in a Muslim majority country, that there's no nightlife. But in reality, nighttime is the right time here. Hey, this guy's hollering at me. Oh look, friends just eating apples. What's going on? What's this? Oh, I can try? Yeah. Oh, it's a mystery fruit. That's very good. It's like a guava.
Guava.
Shukran. Have a great night. Bye. Free fruit. It's like a guava, but has the texture of a pear. Everyone goes out to hang out with their friends, drink tea, and watch football. And the people you meet on the street are so kind and hospitable. Hey, bro. What's going on? Wow, y'all look dripping. You're looking good, guys. I like it. So I don't understand why people would tell me,
the peoples are so friendly over there. And life starts at night in Egypt.
This boy went missing. I think this happened in Portugal, but he pretty much just told his mom that he wanted to go out with his friend and they're gonna go meet up with some other friends, right? Bro, I think he was like 11 years old. The mom got a call hours later that he didn't go to his 5 o'clock class and he went missing. What happened was the friend that he was supposed to go with supposedly took him to go meet with like this. I'm not gonna say what it is. Bro, he disappeared. I think he's still missing.
No.
He would be around 30 years old right now.
What the heck?
But what's crazy is they were looking for evidence and they found some. He was on the with a picture of him with literally his most accurate, it's exactly him, so clear, crystal clear. Yo, what's crazy, they also found evidence. They caught a picture. You know those pictures when you're on a roller coaster?
Yeah.
Fam, they caught it by accident. He was in the back of somebody's picture on the roller coaster beside some middle-aged man.
Oh, so he's free.
That's the person that took it.
If you gave me a choice between getting diabetes or becoming HIV positive, I would choose HIV every time. If you become HIV positive, as long as you get medical treatment, you live as long as everyone else. If you get diabetes, you know, not only does it knock 15 years off your life, your chances of all sorts of catastrophic complications in your life are really high. It's the biggest single cause of blindness in Britain, preventable cause of blindness. It's a massive cause of leg amputation. More people get an extremity cut off in the US because of diabetes every year than because of being shot.
My brother-in-law's sister, her feet got amputated because of diabetes.
The new Beetlejuice movie is missing an actor from the original film, and they didn't include him in the sequel for a disturbing reason. This is Jeffrey Jones, who played Charles Dietz in the original Beetlejuice. He's also a convicted sex offender and a hardcore pedophile. Jeffrey was in a number of famous 80s movies like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Beetlejuice, The Hunt for Red October, Amadeus, and a lot of people recognize this guy's face because he played a number of famous roles in famous movies. But in 2002, Jeffrey Jones was arrested for possession of CP or CSAM and for hiring a 14-year-old boy to produce explicit images for him from September 2000 to May of 2001. Now, prosecutors for some reason eventually dropped the CP charges, but his punishment for this whole thing was no prison time. He got 5 years of probation, and he was then required to register as a sex offender. But he was arrested again in Florida in 2004, and again in California in 2010 because he failed to update his registration in the sex offender database. It seems like Jeffrey wanted the world to forget his sordid and disturbing past. He was also filming a movie in 2006 in South Carolina when the community in the town that he was filming in became aware of his previous record. They raised a lot of complaints. This went really public because families were being invited to the set of the film with their children, and they didn't know that a convicted sex offender was there filming. So yeah, I found it interesting because we saw Beetlejuice last night, and they don't show him at all in the movie. And in fact, his character dies off screen through an animation, and the filmmakers found a very clever way to include his character from the original without having to hire a sex offender.
And I thought he passed away.
Sprinting completely sheds body fat. Okay, running fast, but not long distance running. It only takes 6 minutes. If you live next to a park, here's how you do a sprinting exercise. You set a timer for 60 seconds, run as fast as you can, and then give yourself a 1-minute break. Then run as fast as you can for 90 seconds. Then run as fast as you can, 1-minute break. Then run as fast as you can for 60 seconds, and then a 1-minute break. Then run as fast as you can for 45 seconds. That's it, and you are done.
I used to do the exact same thing for fun when I was a kid.
Did you know this little girl says she knows God's name?
What is
Watch
God's
this.
name? Who?
Howard.
Howard? How do you know his name is Howard? Because what?
Our Father, the Lord in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Who?
Hallowed be thy name.
Howard be thy name?
For more amazing, awesome videos like this, follow or subscribe.
Whether Howard or Hollow, the kid is on the right path.
I went to Baskin Robbins to rob it. There were 2 girls working, and I pulled the gun out. They both bolted to the back, and I tried to open the register, and I couldn't. I didn't know what button to push. So I run out and I didn't get any money there. So then I went to an espresso stand and I just like walked up and I robbed it and didn't even take the girl's tips. I just left her money. I took the business's money. I took her phone and I said, give me some time to get away. And she's like, okay. And I threw her phone in the bushes where she could see it. And she ran to it as soon as like I was by my car and she was calling it in. And I was like, God, I should have took her tips, man. So then like the next day I go to Mill Creek. It's another Baskin Robbins. I don't know why I want to rob these Baskin Robbins so bad, but this guy that I go in there and he's like, he looks at the gun and you could tell he thinks it's real, but he finds that hero in him. And he just starts screaming, "F you," as loud as he can. The door's open. It's the middle of summer. And I'm like, what the f do I do? I jump the counter and beat him up with this plastic gun? Like, this isn't going to work.
Right.
So I run out to the car. My girlfriend's waiting and I get in the seat and she looks me up and down. She's like, you didn't get any money? I've never hit a woman in my life, but I was really close at that point.
Why do the Chinese warn people not to go to the bathroom without this plant? You need to have this plant in your bathroom immediately. It may seem strange now, but what I'm going to tell you in this video will make you start placing this plant in your bathroom. Why did an Indian Buddha tell people to put this plant in the bathroom? The reason will surprise everyone. This technique, used for thousands of years and recently adopted by the Chinese, is simply incredible. Do you know what plant this is? This is the plant that should not be missing from your home. Let me tell you why. That's why I ask you to watch until the end. The name of this plant here is snake plant. However, in other countries, it is known by other names, such as mother-in-law's tongue, St. George's sword, among others. But what benefits will it bring? This plant here is ancient. Did you know it was often used in large and important meetings? According to these people, this plant wards off evil spirits from the place where you live. It repels the evil spirit, the spirit of discord, the spirit of wickedness. If someone carries it, the plant will absorb it and leave the person clean and pure. Therefore, it is also recommended to keep this plant at your front door. Leave it at the entrance, because when someone passes by your house, it will absorb everything for itself. It will absorb first. It will also purify the place where you are. It will make your air fresher. This is a NASA-approved plant. NASA approved it because it produces a lot of oxygen at night.
That's a red flag.
I have 3 types of snake plants in my bathroom because it will help purify my entire bathroom and eliminate all impurities within it. That's why I highly recommend this plant. Never let this plant be missing from your home, especially in your bathroom and bedroom. Don't miss this opportunity. Sometimes you wonder, I had such a beautiful flower that withered away because it was so beautiful. Then you wonder, why did it wither? You watered it and did everything necessary, but still, it withered. And it's precisely in those moments that you think it might be envy. Someone looked at my plant for too long and suddenly it withered. But what really happens with that? Let me explain. The plant has a very positive charge. If someone enters your house and sees such a beautiful and wonderful plant, and that person has a negative charge, sometimes we summarize this as envy, but it's just a negative charge that the person had and that the plant absorbed for itself. The plant is positive. It will absorb the negative charge that this person had inside them, and it will transmit a positive charge again so that this person can recover. It sounds a bit strange, doesn't it? But did you know that in a house with many plants, people live healthier and more peacefully, leading to a better and longer life? Do you believe in this, and believe that the plant has the ability to attract bad energies? Have plants in your home because nowadays, many people replace live plants with plastic plants. So if your plant withered, it wasn't due to a lack of water, nutrients, or anything else. It was someone who entered your house with a very negative charge, and the plant absorbed that negative charge and released a positive charge so that person could leave well. It is wonderful to have this plant in your home. But why place the plant in your bathroom? Usually visitors don't go to the bedroom, the kitchen, and sometimes not even the living room. But they always go to the most necessary place in a house, which is the bathroom. So that's where you should have this plant. However, if you have visitors who are closer to you, leave them in the living room or kitchen, where they will spend most of their time. Do you already know this plant, or do you want to plant one? I'll stop here. A big kiss. God bless you.
I put my trust in the Lord, not in the plan.
This is actually so scary. I climbed the most dangerous tower in Sri Lanka. Ugh, what a peculiar place to take a selfie. Almost at the top. And I quickly realized I was way too fat for it. Oh my gosh, I can't even get through here.
Man, I would
I'm like too
faint.
fat for this. And if this breaks, that is the end of Seal. I don't know how we're gonna get by.
That's
traffic
crazy.
jam. I feel bad, man. Oh, that's why they make these for people to pass. Hello. Sorry, sir.
Good morning.
Or, good morning.
Hey.
Canada.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good? Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Selfie.
Selfie. Oh yeah. We'll do that.
Selfie,
Oh,
selfie.
you're selfie. Oh, I'm taking a selfie too. Okay. I'll take a selfie if you're taking a selfie.
Yes, Sri Lankan.
You're Sri Lankan?
Sri Lankan.
Really? Oh, I thought you guys were from Mongolia. Okay, selfie. Heck yeah. What's your names?
Rigzan.
Rigzan.
Yeah. Naslan.
Naslan.
Selfie.
Selfie. Okay, brother. Woo! We're in a cloud. Love being in the cloud.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'll try to squeeze by you without falling. Okay.
Okay.
What a fun place to take a selfie. See you guys. What is going on here? I'm actually so surprised. Like I just made it through that. If I was any fatter. Oh my god.
So this is a thing, right, in Thailand where different people will buy a spot in a red room with crypto so they can't be traced. A red room in Thailand is a room where a child is murdered every 3 weeks.
No.
And they are sacrificed. And the person that pays with the crypto gets to choose how that kid is murdered.
No.
And the other person gets to do things to them. Now that is trafficking. That is murder, rape, trafficking.
That's crazy.
Girls lying on a boat in Saint Tropez with a glass of champagne and being able to go back to a villa when they want. That is not trafficking.
I hope that's not true.
Warning signs. Your brain is in trouble. Alzheimer's disease actually starts in the brain decades before you have any symptoms. So the first warning sign, poor memory, and it's getting worse than it was 10 years ago. 80% of people who say their memory is worse than it was 10 years ago have an 80% chance it will continue to get worse. Number two, poor judgment and impulsivity. What that means likely is your frontal lobes, the part of your brain that supervises you, watches you, is decreasing in activity. And that's not a good thing. Sort of like your brake is going offline. Third, short attention span, distractibility, not like ADHD that you've had it your whole life, but it seems to be accelerating. Fourth is low mood. Depression doubles the risk of Alzheimer's disease in women and quadruples the risk in men. Being overweight or obese, as your weight goes up, the size and function of your brain goes down. That's why I'm trim. I do not want to purposely do anything that damages my brain. Having low energy, which often means lower blood flow to the brain. Erectile dysfunction, because if you have blood flow problems anywhere, it means they're everywhere. And chronic insomnia or having sleep apnea. If you have any of these risk factors, now is the time to get serious about brain health.
And besides exercising and eating healthy, what are some other ways to improve your brain health? Anyone knows? Please drop a comment.
If you're a Christian, you're definitely going to want to watch this. This is Nikos, and he had an experience where God came to him in a dream. And Nikos is a worship leader and a musician at his church that's located in Thessalonica, in Greece, that is home to the Thessalonians. So back in June 2022, he gave a full-blown testimony to his congregation about being visited by Jesus in a dream. But it wasn't just Jesus. It was also an archangel. And in his testimony, he's describing what the archangel looks like. The angel had black curly hair and not a strand was out of place. That's crazy, right? He also mentioned that this angel was dressed in a military uniform, with the materials being gold and silver. And just based on the appearance, he already knew that this archangel was in charge of all of the heavenly armies. While he's admiring the intensity of this angel, the archangel tilts his head upwards and starts to sing. And this is where things get crazy. As he starts to sing, more angels start building with him, more instruments, more sounds. And before long, there's an entire choir, millions and millions of other angels start to sing in unison with him. Nico said that this was not just a song, but it was the idea that this is the beginning of the armies assembling in heaven for what is to come. That this song is like a trumpet preparing for war. And Nico said that when all of this was happening, God was just filling his mind and his brain and giving him all of this information and data that when he wakes up, that he's going to go out and write the exact song that he heard. Nikos wakes up from his dream and immediately got down on his hands and knees and began to cry and weep because he felt the overwhelming presence of God.
During World War II, Filipino guerrillas got extra crafty with coconut palms to mess with the Japanese soldiers. They took these giant palm fronds and turned them into fake rifles. Picture a group of Filipinos holding up palm fronds like they were high-tech weapons. From a distance, the Japanese soldiers thought they were about to face an army, only to realize they were being scared off by some tropical prank. The humble coconut palm, usually just good for shade and coconuts, ended up being the ultimate prank weapon in the jungle.
I mean, it's funny.
I protect my energy a lot that way. I don't like people to vent to me. You can tell me about your problem. I can walk you through it. I could give you my advice. But if you're coming to complain and to vent, then that's when you're sucking my energy. I don't need to hear it. I'm happy to give you solid and sound advice when you need it because I'll be a good friend to you or I'll be a good partner to you. But if it's complaining and venting, there's a problem there. That means you don't respect my energy and my space and you're not worried or concerned about what I'm going through. What's more important for you is not to find a solution, but to complain and to be heard over and over again on a broken record speaking about the same thing. I don't accept it from my parents. I don't accept it from my siblings. I don't accept it from my friends. I don't accept it from my partner.
People can vent to me because there are rarely people that listen. Some people just need someone to hear them out. Complaining and venting are two different things.
Look at James Bond. There's a reason why he's never played by a young actor in his 20s.
Why is
to
that?
become an accomplished, worldly, talented man that people respect. It takes time. You need years of training, failures, and struggles to reach this higher ideal of yourself. Nobody gets there overnight. If you want to be a rich man, you probably aren't going to hit it out of the park with your first ever business. Think of your life as a movie, and right now you're in the part of the movie where the hero is working hard and getting beat up on his way to victory. If you're watching this video and you care about improving yourself, you're already way ahead of most people.
These images are quite extraordinary when you consider the stature of Tyreek Hill and how he's regarded within the NFL and certainly within Miami. We understand from his agent that he was involved in a police stop.
Apparently got a ticket for moving violation entering the stadium. How things escalated into the situation that they were in handcuffs and being held on the ground with police is mind-boggling to me. I'm deeply concerned by that, very troubled. We will be looking into it. We will be investigating this. We will look out for Tyreek.
So Rosenhaus, the agent, Fred, saying that his client was rattled, physically okay, but mentally distraught. And he really wanted to focus on the game, which Hill is currently playing in against Jacksonville right now. He's made caught three passes in the game so far. But clearly this story is just exploding. Within the last few minutes, Miami-Dade Police Department have released a statement. This is what they have to say. We are aware of the recent detainment of Miami Dolphins player Tyreek Hill by Miami-Dade Police Department officers. This is the director of the agency speaking. I have requested an immediate review of all details surrounding the incident, and we are also reviewing available body camera footage. We will provide updates as further information becomes available.
So, how does a Miami Dolphins star get slammed on the ground in Miami over a moving violation entering the stadium? That's wild.
If your Wi-Fi doesn't necessarily mean you've turned off your Wi-Fi.
What?
So if you head over to your phone settings and go to location, and then select location services. And then here you can see it says Wi-Fi scanning, and it says let apps use Wi-Fi for location detection even when Wi-Fi is turned off. So that means when you've turned your Wi-Fi off but you've got your scanning on, your phone is constantly still sending out probe requests for Wi-Fi. So if you want that extra level of privacy, turn your Wi-Fi scanning off as well.
If you don't know, now you know.
We've got a problem. Men might be going extinct. Science shows the human Y chromosome needed to make a man is fading away. A person's biological gender is determined by special chromosomes in their DNA, which come in two types, X and Y. If you have two X's, you get a female, but if you have one X and one Y, a male. A few years ago, researchers noticed that the Y chromosome required for men to exist has been shrinking over the past 200,000 years or so, with some experts estimating the Y chromosome to completely leave our DNA within the next 5 million years. And with our current DNA structure, no Y chromosome means no men. Obviously, having less men around would cause society to crumble, with reduced fertility rates leading to the entire human population to slowly decline into extinction. But still, other scientists claim that our DNA would adapt and move over to another chromosome to make males. Just like we see in species like the mommy spiny rat, who have no Y chromosome, yet the males are maling just fine, although they are endangered, aka on the verge of extinction. Are humans gonna share the same fate, or does our DNA have a trick up its sleeve? Guess we'll find out in about 5 million years.
You don't think I'm going to let this happen?
Dame and Dash will never recover from with 50 Cent. But the way all this shit started, this one thing, if Dame Dash didn't say this one thing back in the day to 50 Cent, his mouth and teeth wouldn't have fell all over the out for the internet to see. Trying to talk off 50. They going back and forth, and I don't like it.
No.
So on $1 Million Worth of Game podcast, 50 was on there. And so he was talking about his career back in the day when he first got started, when he first got signed. When he first got signed, he was so excited. He said he was dead broke when he got signed, and Eminem and them signed 50 Cent for $1 million. Time, if you know, Dame Dash was on a high with the Rockefeller wave with Jay-Z. And he was making big money. He was talking big shit. So 50 went to tell Dame, happy, excited about his deal. He said, man, they gave me $1 million. Dame looked him dead in his face and told him, $1 million ain't no damn money. And 50 said in a podcast interview, he was like, I was so proud of what I did and so happy to get that money. And then for him to be, you know, Dame was big time, and for him to just shit on his accomplishment like that, he said he never forgot it. But you know 50. Then he said, yeah, but he broke now. He was talking shit back then, but he broke now. So Dame got offended and said, look, bro, we can go at it. He said, I got my own movie, this and that. We can see who can put out the best movies and our own this and our own that. Basically, a pissing contest. And so then Dame went live, started talking mess to 50 about that. He was sipping orange juice, as you see in this picture. And so he took a swig of that orange juice and loosened up his teeth or whatever dentures, and his whole mouth and teeth just fell out. And he tried to move the camera and play it off, but it was like, you talking big money stuff with 50. And you got dentures, you don't even got implants. The whole internet roasted him. He wasn't even the cocky Dame no more. You could tell it just, his whole aura is gone.
That's
Y'all
crazy.
better leave 50 alone. And Dame Dash, I hope you get back, bruh. But you have officially fell off all the way. And ain't nothing wrong with it. Get it back, champ.
Dame Dash's time was coming anyways because of Aaliyah. His wife didn't leave him for no reason. She knew what was up.
This is why your dollar has no power. Because they keep printing it. And guess where? In China, my friend.
Dude.
Yeah. No wonder your dollar.
When paper is gone, welcome to digital dollar.
What's reflectal orbital?
Oh no.
Reflector Orbital is a startup that is developing space mirrors to reflect sunlight on solar panels at night. This technology has the potential to revolutionize the renewable energy industry by providing a continuous source of power day and night. The mirrors will be positioned in orbit around the Earth and will be able to reflect sunlight onto specific areas on the planet, generating power from sunlight even after the sun has set. Reflect Orbital is currently in the early stages of development and is working to refine their technology and bring their vision of a continuous renewable energy source to reality.
Alexa, is Reflectal Orbital a company that will charge you to buy sunlight?
Yup.
Reflective Orbital is a company that proposes to sell sunlight to cities and companies that experience prolonged periods of darkness due to geographic location or seasonal changes. Reflective Orbital's concept is to collect sunlight from space and direct it to specific locations on Earth through specialized mirrors and lenses. The company's goal is to provide sustainable and cost-effective solutions for regions that experience limited sunlight, potentially improving conditions for agriculture, energy production, and general well-being. While the idea of buying sunlight from a company is intriguing, it is important to note that this concept is still at the proposal stage and has not yet been fully developed or implemented.
Alexa, how much would it cost to purchase sunlight from Reflectal Orbital?
Refractory Orbital is a fictitious company, so there is no price tag on sunlight since it is a public good. Refractory Orbital
Not
is
yet.
a hypothetical company that hypothetically sells sunlight. Since it is a hypothetical company, it has a hypothetical price for its services. However, according to some science fiction authors, Refractory Orbital would charge a hefty fee for the delivery of sunlight.
Hypothetically. Alexa, didn't you just tell me that Reflectal Orbital is a startup company? Hypothetically?
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Alexa, you just fucking told me. Alexa, is Reflectal Orbital a company?
Alexa.
Yes, Refractal Orbital is a company. It specializes in developing reflective devices known as reflectors that are placed in space to capture sunlight and
But you
redirect
just
it
said it
towards
was
solar panels on
hypothetical.
Earth,
You said it was
ensuring a
hypothetical.
continuous supply of solar power
You
even
said it was
during
hypothetical.
nighttime or in cloudy
You said it was
conditions.
hypothetical. Alexa, then why did you say it was hypothetical?
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Yeah. She's just spanking Alexa.
Feel better.
You know, like they sell us water, like they sell us electricity, they sell us food.
This man's saying that he don't got to use no credit card or nothing to pay for this water right here.
Oh, I didn't know if you needed help or anything. Buy a ticket.
Oh, I got my, okay, thank you. Whoa, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Code accepted. Select payment type. Code accepted.
What barcode? Hold on.
Soon you will be able to pay for groceries at every Whole Foods in the U.S. with just a swipe of your hand. Amazon says that the Pay by Palm technology will be at all of those stores nationwide by the end of the year. Customers just have to hover their hand over the device to pay. This method is already being used at 200 Whole Foods locations across 20 states, and you can also find it in other places, stores like Panera Bread.
The mark of the beast is in the Bible and it's right in front of us. Soon, people will be missing hands.
So I'm going to show you how I pay for my drink here in China. We can cater. The so I use my. You see that? All I used was my hand, and that was it. I'm going to show you guys a video of something that's honestly really difficult to watch.
In this tent lives 77-year-old Judy Howe with her 80-year-old partner, George, a situation she never imagined to be in. She says they had an apartment in Halifax before the building was sold and to be torn down. After that, they went to Ontario to be with George's dying mother, but they couldn't afford to stay there and chose to return to Halifax.
It's not home.
You know, it's not a place you can cook a meal for yourself. You can take a shower. We go up to the Y on Park Street here. I always get lost. I'm trying to find my way out. And that's where we shower at. And you can go there every day if you want, you know. And thank God they have that service. But it's not where I want to be. I go to bed crying at night. At night I go to bed crying.
Oh gosh.
And I pray to God, asking him to get me out of here.
That's someone that was born, raised in Canada, worked her whole life, is in her final stages of life, is retired, and is sleeping in a tent on the street, and she's homeless. We failed her, and we abandoned her. But when we get illegal immigrants, asylum seekers, or even immigrants in general, we give them free food, we give them shelter, and we give them money. This is getting ridiculous. There's no reason on earth that woman should be on the street.
Yep.
It's an embarrassment, and this is exactly the thing that drives me nuts about the Liberal government. They don't care about their own. Otherwise, stories like this just simply wouldn't exist among Canadians. She has to take her showers at the Y. Shout out to the Y for doing that. That's amazing.
What is the Y?
This is just, it's, I have no words.
This is so heartbreaking and not fair. You guys should be protecting your elderly people.
Case of Linda de Souza. She was one of the couples from this British reality TV show called The Open House Great Experiment. The show is supposed to be about exploring what it's like to be in a non-monogamous relationship, where a bunch of couples in open relationships or couples wanting to try open relationships are sent to this luxury retreat where they're free to explore with other couples. It's a show about swinging and multiplayer activities under the disguise of wanting to appear very open-minded. There at one point was a 15-person event where they all had intimate relations between 15 people. The girl in the video, the one that's having intimate relations with Linton, she was one of the 15 on the reality show.
Wow.
Her name is Linda de Souza Abreu, and she was on the show last year with her husband Nathan. So she's married. So does her husband know that she's being filmed having intimate relations with Linton right now? In this 4-minute clip, Linton is sitting down at one point and Linda is all over him, and the cameraman is just sitting directly in front of them, perhaps 2 feet away, filming, smoking, turning the camera on him to say, "There's a movie in it, gangsters." Linton is an inmate. The cameraman is his cellmate, and Linda, the woman that Linton is having sex with, is a prison guard. She was arrested at Heathrow Airport in London. She's facing life in prison.
What?
Wow. How?
For misconduct in a public space, like misconduct in a public agency, because she works for the government.
I had this one guy who would want to see me, and when I had nothing, else to do, then I would see him. But he was very insulting to people and rude, and I didn't really like him that much. But then, otherwise, I just sat at home, After a couple of years, my brother banned him from seeing me. For 2 years, I didn't see him. I graduated and went to live in Cape Town, and he came to visit me, just turned up with an engagement ring. And I said, "I'll never wear it." And then he went back and told my family that I'd agreed to marry him, which surprised my family because they didn't know I was seeing him and I wasn't. And then I just got this telegram from my parents, "Congratulations, the wedding arrangements are made, the invites are out, and 800 people are coming." I called him, I said, "What do you mean I'm marrying you?" And he said, "I will change when we get married, because then I'll be kinder and nicer. I'm just aggressive because you won't marry me." So I did believe him. And then I fell pregnant on honeymoon. Then the abuse started right away, beating me up if I didn't do as I was told. I came back from honeymoon bruised and pregnant. And then I didn't want my family to know. So then you just put up with that because you have no choice.
Yes, you do.
Elon, while he was a little boy, he grew up in a very violent home.
Wow, look at that.
Like, for example, when I always had to drive the car and he would be punching me and Elon would be between the seats hitting his father to stop him punching me. When he would be at home and punching me, Kimball and Tosca would be crying in the corner because they were really babies. Elon was 5, Kimball 4, Tosca 3. Elon would be hitting his dad at the back of his legs. And then when he was 8, we left.
His father, Errol, denies all the allegations of domestic abuse.
After 2 years, Elon said he wanted to go and live with his father, and that made me very sad, because I didn't see why he would wanted to do that. His father had the Encyclopedia Britannica. I couldn't afford books. I mean, he'd read everything in the library in Durban, so he had the opportunity to actually read the whole encyclopedias. I could call him anytime and ask him any subject, anything in the world.
Let me check.
Hey, Daddy. I'm here to speak to your wife since you've been avoiding me.
I'm sorry. I've been looking for your number.
What's
You blocked me.
It was a mistake. I don't really...
Oh, I need money. I know you got paid today for the culture plate. Well, should I ask your wife?
No, you should be on maternity leave.
You're wasting my time. The yellow card?
Yeah, I have the yellow card.
Perfect.
I just got picked it.
Let me ask your wife. Oh, okay. Say hi to your babies.
Say hi to your baby.
Aw, that's your daddy.
Okay.
Do you even know the names?
I'll know the names later.
The names
I want to
later.
see you have KFC tomorrow, 3:30 p.m., okay?
Jacob, you know, I have to go back to work.
Let me ask your wife. It's fine. 3:30 p.m.
I'll be there.
Well, if you're not, your wife.
Yeah,
Everything okay, love? Should I come?
No, don't come.
Don't come.
I miss you, Daddy. It's okay.
What's happening, love?
Smile.
Hey.
Come on. What do you have in your wallet? Are you deaf? Okay.
See you later.
Tell your baby you love them. Not me, idiot. The babies.
Me, idiot.
Bye.
Kenny. I just love this dude content.
Alright, folks, thank you for staying till the end. Be kind to each other. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And don't forget to like or dislike so I can make a better content. There's a free gift below. And if you want to buy me coffee or support me through Patreon, the links are in the description below. Have a prosperous day and God bless.